Some people work hard to earn it, and some end up losing it for being careless. Money has been one of the things on everybody's mind since the dawn of humanity. Of course, we all as humans want to become rich someday, but how? And how can you know that you're on the right path to becoming rich? Well, in this video, here are 15 signs that you'll undoubtedly become rich. 1. You recognize opportunities. The world is experiencing an unparalleled economic shift where money is flying around like never before. We're talking about a mind-blowing transfer of wealth that has never been seen in the history of mankind. You, in this generation, are shaking things up, redistributing the wealth of previous eras, and carving out new pathways to prosperity. You recognize that there are more internet entrepreneurs than any time in history. Shockingly, a staggering 84% of the world's latest crop of billionaires have made their fortunes on their own. Self-made millionaires are on the rise. The question is, are you hungry enough yet? 2, you are not pressed for time. You've got all the time in the world to pursue your dreams. You've already learned enough to have faith in the process, and you recognize that becoming wealthy isn't a quick fix. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But once you've built something up that generates passive income, it's nearly impossible to break it down. Typically, it takes years to see the fruits of your true labor. You don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. True success takes years of hard work and dedication. 3. You know you can't get rich from one job. You know that the days of getting rich from just one job are long gone. Sure, working for a living will help you make ends meet, but if you want true financial independence, you need to think bigger. You know that the idea that you need a high-paying job to amass wealth is a total myth. In fact, those in the know will tell you that the real money is in starting your own business or generating a passive income from your high-income skill. You don't settle for a mediocre job. Dream big, take risks, and unleash your inner entrepreneur. 4. You spend less than you make. You know it all starts with spending less than you make. You keep your living expenses constant. Regardless of how much money you're raking in, you're already setting yourself up for financial success. Unfortunately, too many people nowadays fall victim to the allure of mansions and luxury cars, all in the hopes of impressing their peers. You know that giving in to the temptation to show off your wealth is a surefire way to prevent yourself from ever becoming financially stable. 5. You invest your savings. Investing your savings is one of the smartest financial decisions you can make if you want to build wealth and achieve true financial freedom. While saving money is important, keeping it in a low-interest savings account isn't going to make you rich. By investing your savings, you're putting your money to work for you, allowing it to grow and multiply over time. Whether you're investing in stocks, real estate, or other ventures, the key is to have a long-term mindset and a diversified portfolio. 6. You rely on your brain more than anything else. Your brain is your ultimate asset, the key to unlocking limitless possibilities. It's simple, really. Your mind's earning potential knows no bounds. Continuously learn and adapt, and you'll discover that your intellect is a boundless gold mine, ripe for harvesting profits. The tangible world may try to hold you back, with hunger, fatigue, and sleepiness impeding your progress. But don't be confined by these physical limitations. Let your brain be your wealth generator, not your muscles or your time. 7. You are not afraid to take calculated risks. You, my friend, are a true risk taker. But not just any kind of risk taker. You are a calculated risk taker who is willing to invest in yourself and your future. Whether it's pursuing a new career opportunity, starting your own business, or investing in the stock market, you approach each decision with careful consideration and a willingness to learn. You know that failure is a possibility, but you also know that the rewards of taking calculated risks far outweigh the risks themselves. Keep pushing yourself to take on new challenges and invest in your future. and who knows where your fearless attitude will take you. 8. You embrace disruptive industries. Ride the wave of trends and position yourself in a thriving field. Be that boat that effortlessly rises with the tide of opportunity. Our ever-evolving world has bid farewell to lifelong single-career paths, urging you to piece together your multifaceted identity and define your future self. Keep your eyes peeled for emerging industries where you can pioneer innovation and secure a leadership role. 9. You make passive income. As external funding may not always be available, exploring alternative revenue streams becomes crucial. Start small and patiently nurture your income source, enhancing its flow over time. Mastering passive income generation is like wielding the financial infinity stone, bestowing you with unparalleled power and freedom. 10. Your financial knowledge grows with time. Since you're here, watch this. You know the answer. It's common knowledge at this point that wealth is a product of education and the application of that education. The fact is that the typical CEO reads 50 books a year, but this is a crucial part of their education. They invest a lot of time and money in courses, seminars, and other high-priced events because it's crucial for the success of their business that they remain one step ahead of the competition. 11. You don't spend money on random stuff. You resist the temptation to splurge on whimsical purchases, the hallmark of an unskilled financial steward, squandering hard-earned money on trivial, impulsive buys. How many times have we heard stories of individuals receiving a windfall only to indulge in extravagances like multiple cars for the family, or perhaps spending that stimulus check on the latest gaming console? 12. You're surrounded by successful people. You surround yourself with the thriving and successful people, for success breeds success. When you immerse yourself in a circle of accomplished individuals, you too are likely to rise and achieve your goals. Remember, your chosen friends and acquaintances is the family you have curated, and as one member excels, it ignites a fire in others to push their limits. Bask in the company of millionaires, and soon enough, you'll begin to adopt their mindset. Excellence is your forte, and that speaks volumes. Once you've set the wheels in motion, persistently propel yourself forward and watch as unstoppable momentum carries you towards your dreams. 13. You aspire to become the best at what you do. This single powerful principle surpasses entire collections of self-help literature. Embrace it, treasure it, and apply it to your endeavors, unlocking unparalleled wealth and success. In terms of dedication and effort, you'll be light years ahead of your competition. Engage with 50 potential clients while your rivals connect with 10. Deploy 10 sales representatives when they have only 2. 14. You eliminate debt. Emerging from relative obscurity, reveal your true potential and craft a defining accomplishment that sets you apart. As you prove your worth, the world will take notice. Financial stability is evident when your debts are handled by others, a clever twist on the traditional concept of debt management. 15. You have a strong work ethic and are willing to put in the effort. Your dedication and work ethic are truly inspiring. You never shy away from a challenge, and you consistently put in the effort to achieve your goals. You're not afraid to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty, and you always go above and beyond what's expected of you.